This movie sucked.
I hate this.
Fuck this movie.
So, in case you can't read fucking ancient hieroglyphics,
if you can't read fucking English because all you do is text emojis.
The Emoji Movie.
We've been putting off this one for a while.
We don't like doing big movies
because everyone's done it.
We're just yelling into a sea of noise.
Yeah, and we have actually gotten a couple people who are like, "Yo, yeah, man, you should do the Emoji Movie."
Yeah.
I'm like,
here it is. All right. So, in case for some reason you can't immediately work out the plot to this movie, I'll give it to you. There you go.
Meh.
There is, I might mess up names because I don't care. There is an emoji named Gene. And Gene is voiced by TJ Miller. And he is, by the way, everyone's a celebrity voice. If you want to chime in with who it is, by all means, I don't care.
Gene is TJ Miller. I'll go along.
He is a meh emoji. And his parents are meh emojis. And he is this is the first time that he's going into the cube.
And his parents are played by Stephen Wright and Jennifer Coolidge.
Yes. And this is the first time he's going into the cube, which is the place that shows up on the screen for them to type.
For your little emoji keys.
And your whole thing is that you have to stay in your emotion, the one you were born with, your entire life. And it seems effortless for other people, but Gene just can't get the hang of it. He has a bunch of emotions.
He doesn't know what to do with them all.
So he gets in there and he fucks it up. And there are two emojis of note. There is the smiley emoji, which is the Stepford wife sort of.
And Smiler, and played by Maya Rudolph.
And she is the villain of the story, who's just like, everything has to be perfect. We have to fix it. And then there's Poop Emoji, played by Patrick Stewart. He doesn't show up that much, but the fact that he's there just makes me sad.
I hope you got a lot of money for this, Patrick. I hope you got a shit ton of money for this.
Get it? Poop! He said shit ton. That's all the movie does, by the way. They just start making a poop joke, and then they just, Patrick Stewart's here. Anyway, so he messes it up by making this weird face when the guy who owns the phone, Alex, I think. He sends this weird face to a girl he likes, and so now he's a malfunction, and he needs to be deleted. So he escapes, and he's going out to try to find a hacker with his friend High Five Emoji, played by James Corden.
Because we needed James Corden into that particular role.
Have you seen his Keurig coffee commercials?
I have.
God damn those things.
I have. Those are pretty.
Anyway, moving on to trying to find a hacker. So to fix his source code so that he can only do the meh emoji and he can fit in. But why would he want to fit in? He's perfect the way.
No, nobody says that. If anything, actually, his parents tell him, maybe it would be good if you just don't come out of the house.
Yeah, at the beginning. So he leaves the texting app, and his goal is to get to the piracy app to find the hacker. They get there, pretty much no problem. They're followed by antivirus bots, which are trying to delete him. They meet a girl named Jailbreak.
Played by Anna Faris.
And they say that they need to get to the cloud, which is Dropbox, in order to do whatever needs to be done to fix it.
There are so many motherfucking
So they cross through Candy Crush. They cross through Instagram. They don't cross through Instagram. They visit Candy Crush, Instagram, YouTube, Just Dance. Oh, Just Dance.
Starring Christina Aguilera.
Yeah, great.
Because she's relevant.
And a whole bunch of other ones pop up just on screen, but I don't really visit them. So the whole reveal is that the Jailbreak one, she's not actually a jailbreak emoji because there's no such thing. She was actually a princess one who also doesn't fit in because she just wants to escape to the cloud where there's no rules. And
they never even actually do that.
No, they don't. So they make it to...
This movie is moot!
They make it to the Dropbox app, and they're about to go their separate ways, but then Gene's like, hey, look, man, I love you, Jailbreak. Why don't we, you make me feel things and whatever. You make my eggplant rock hard. And so she doesn't return the favor. She just wants to leave, and then he finally becomes
my eggplant's so ripe.
He becomes meh emoji because he's heartbroken, and he's taken back by the antivirus bot to be deleted in front of everyone.
Because we have public executions in this movie,
and it's revealed that he got his malfunction through his father because he also can show other emotions, and he's just gotten better at hiding it. What should I have to drink?
Drink milk.
Sorry, brand deal. Had to do it. Moving on.
Anyway, so he's going to be deleted in front of everybody. And his father, he reveals he's also a malfunction, so he has to be deleted. And then the Smiley Girl just starts going crazy with it. Jailbreaking them, come back in, save the day. But because they've been fucking up his phone this entire time, Alex is taking it to the store to basically reset it and delete the whole thing. So they have to prove their worth to Alex, so they send...
Because there's individuality in my phone, and I don't need it.
They only have time to send one text to the girl he likes and prove their worth. And the only one that can sum up all the emotions the right way is Gene.
Because he's always
spastic. So
he's the first animated emoji.
Except that's never going to happen because Unicode doesn't work that way. Anyway.
No, it doesn't.
So
I know that, and I know nothing about it.
So he does it, he sends it, everything's saved, and everyone's all friends, and the soundtrack sells billions. Anyway.
God, the fucking soundtrack.
Oh my god, just when you think that, like, there was a point when they were trying to get past the firewall into Dropbox. They're tapping away. They don't have to play any music, but instead specifically turns on Fireball for this scene because the main character is being set on fire by the firewall.
You could have if you really wanted to have that song there, you could have easily done that without actually having the characters in the scene make it diegetic.
Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't need to be diegetic sound. There's no reason to include it in the thing. Oh, Spotify. That was the other one.
Spotify.
In order to take a shortcut to save High Five after he was accidentally deleted with the Just Dance app.
It makes no sense.
They ride the streams of Spotify.
If anything, actually, it would be a lot more faster if you guys just went around all the apps.
Yeah.
There's no real reason why you should go. Like, the only time that actually made sense is when they're getting chased and they just run into an app because...
There's the whole thing of the setting of the phone is everything is their own contained, like, towns and, like, areas. And then when you leave the app, there's, like,
Textopolis.
There's the world... the space between spaces that they transfer through.
This is the construct.
And then they can pass into the apps of the other ones. And it's just like long looking hallways that you can just see the whole way down. So,
and I'm like, even if this guy had like 4 pages of apps, like it would...
Yeah. They show that an app, if like scaled up to human size, couldn't be more than like 200 feet across.
Yeah.
So to cross across 4 pages would be at most maybe like a half a mile. That's not that far.
Yeah, guys, and they're like, we just got to the Dropbox app. We can't go all the way to the trash.
That's all the way on the other side of the phone.
Okay, so it'll take you about like a couple minutes tops.
But we got to run through Spotify.
That's if you're booking it.
We got to run through Spotify so they can play "Watch Me Whip," "Watch Me Nene," "Watch Me Whip," "Watch Me Nene."
If you guys wanted to fucking like date this shit.
Oh, dude, it was dated the moment the concept came out.
Like emojis have been around for a while, and emojis will continue to be around for a while.
Yeah.
Before somebody invents something else that replaces it. Like, it took me a while to come around to this idea. It's just that, emojis are a new kind of form of communication between human beings. We have the ability to do that. And their comparison to hieroglyphs in the movie, as inane as that is, it's still like it makes sense for what it is. But that's about it. Yeah. Like, you don't actually ever prove your point. You never come up with the concept that this is this is important.
Yeah.
Like at all.
Like, I would say
maybe I'm asking too much from something called the Emoji Movie.
Maybe I am. Because I can point out exactly the polar opposite of what this should have been. The Lego Movie.
See, I haven't seen the Lego movie.
Haven't. I can gladly. The whole thing is pointing out the creativity of the Lego and how like there's no right way, wrong way, and it also has this beautiful message about like father and son relationship and like building that. It's fucking great, and it is a glorified ad for plastic bricks. This thing was like it's like a dueling movie sort of thing. The sort of thing of like Bug's Life and Ants were. It's like two movies that have a similar-esque concept that are basically, in concept, full-length ads. But the Lego movie was amazing. And this was just not. Because there was nothing to its message.
Except the only difference with that is with A Bug's Life and Ants, both movies were great.
Yeah,
because I love Ants.
I would say this was a dueling movie, except for the fact that A, I don't know if the timescales match up, and B,
protect your home and loved ones with a new SHT system. SHT.
golly, I sure want to buy that thing. Anyway, yeah, it was a curb stomp.
It was
of a duel.
It decided. Okay, like when I first found out that were coming out with an Emoji Movie, my first thought was, of course, how the fuck are you going to make this happen?
Yeah.
And when I saw the trailer for it, I'm like, okay, like you're not surprising me at all. Mm-hmm. This is a very easy hero's journey kind of plot that you got going on here. Right. But the amount of product placement in this... I remember they had this giant overview shot of a huge part of the phone, mm-hmm. and we stopped it, and we were like literally like trying to figure out which app was which, and not all of them are all apps. Some of them are like the system settings.
It's your generic sort of like that's the weather one.
Yeah,
that's the
this is
solitaire.
News. Yeah, like,
calculator.
It's like sound, the flashlight.
Yeah.
So like there a lot of these things are just the functions of the app, but the way that the fucking movie starts, the smartphone, like the greatest fucking thing that's ever happened to humanity ever.
I would love if this movie was just tearing that down. Like, just showing, like, yeah, no, it's great to have, and it's a big part of, like, humans, like, progression and stuff like that, at least in technology-wise, but... maybe it's not that big of a thing.
And of course, if you have at the very end of the movie, like after he goes through this journey and then he realizes that, oh, I'm just okay, and he went through all this stuff in order to be socially acceptable. Mm-hmm. But then because it's the Rudolph story, because as soon as he has a fucking use, then everybody loves him because he is useful to everyone now.
See, here's the thing.
It doesn't matter that he's different.
It's not in this movie. They presented it to start that everybody has to act the same way that they are born into.
Yeah.
So he's a Memoji, so he has to act like a Memoji. That's the way they set it up. But it turns out that it's not that way. That everybody, if you're born a certain emoji, you just get it. Like, it's built into you. You can't be anything else.
It's an intrinsic thing,
The fact that the Memoji and his father, they were able to do this, that's, like, really fucking weird. It's not like... anybody can do this. So when it comes to the end of the movie and everybody's accepting him, it's like, hey, yeah, you can do things differently. We thought it was going to go a certain way of like, oh, everybody can like be a little different sometimes.
No, it's not that way.
Everybody's still the exact same that they have been. It's just now they're more accepting of it.
Yeah, and of course that also relies on like the different types of emojis that are not even emotion based.
Yeah, the face ones are apparently the only ones that are actually have the problems that they're talking about when they say stuff like the princess emojis or the Christmas tree ones.
Yeah,
they don't have any problem with that at all.
They can just be festive all the
they're
time.
Just whatever, fuck it.
Yeah, for the most part though, it keeps going back to the fact that one, I can't really say much about when it comes down to the plot of this because I honestly have no understanding of how at all you would be able to tell a coherent, compelling story about fucking emojis.
I feel like it needs to not be about emojis. It needs to be about smartphone culture.
Yes.
If you expand it out, then you have something to say.
And of course, people are going to come with the idea. It's just like, okay, seriously, this is a movie for kids and whatnot. But I'm like, I honestly think that that's a dangerous way of looking about this.
Oh yeah, no.
Because
we've covered kids' films before and say that it doesn't need to be stupid.
And this movie is just like basically saying that, if you should only have to be able to break down your forms of communication to simple emojis or else it's way too unnecessary, basically.
Which, I mean, to be fair, that's probably what the script was written in.
I mean, there's way too many people who wrote this script.
Yeah.
So, by the rule of thumb when it comes down to Hollywood movies, there's a lot more people who have their hands in this script than
I'm going to 100% though, I'm going to blame Sony for like 95% of this. Sure, the scriptwriters had to do whatever, but that when they were writing the first draft of this script, they had none of those companies signed on. They had to insert scenes for when they got Candy Crush in, when they got Just Dance in. They had to make these things based off of the brand deals.
And I'm looking like with a few of the people who wrote this, and what was it? One of the writers is Mike White, the guy who wrote School of Rock.
Oh shit!
Was it?
He probably figured out how to set the music in at least kind of appropriate location.
Yeah, I mean, he also did he wrote on the Pitch Perfect movies and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Those are good, well-regarded comedies. And again, we said during this movie several times there are points that made us laugh. Like, it is not a completely void of any good things movie. There are good jokes in there. The first one in the movie. The liberal agenda is saying I'm running for Congress. That's not true. Go away.
Take my money. Take it right now.
But no, when the smiley face at the beginning, the cheery guy, it's like he has to be cheery all the time, even if he's just broke a bone. And he's like, I can see the bone.
But he has to be cheery happy. Though. But he has to be cheery means that it feels like there's a form of compulsion.
Right.
Like they're compelled to do it.
But it was what I'm saying. That was funny. That was funny in just the offsetting humor of it. It was just funny to see that there are jokes. There are actual jokes made. But then, halfway through the movie, the devil emoji or whatever says it makes some half-assed pun about shit while the Patrick Stewart one is sitting there.
Yeah.
And the Patrick Stewart one replies aim higher, Steven.
Yeah.
And it's that's a good enough joke, but it's also indicative of what this entire movie is at this point, where it's just puns.
And the devil is Sean Hayes.
Yeah. It's just puns and puns and puns, and it's just what was it? The jailbreak. She never called high five. She always called him knucklehead or fingers or something like that because, yay, get it? He's a hand. He's a hand. You get it?
By I can't remember which point of the movie where I just pretty much kind of tapped out.
For me, it was when the one guy said when he's talking to whoever the fuck, and he's just oh man, I get it. #truth, and I'm done.
I was done. You. I was done when they fucking referenced Casablanca.
Yeah, that was at the end.
It's we'll always have Paris. I'm fuck you. You no. I'm sorry. I'm not even a huge Casablanca fan, and you just don't do that, guys. This is the problem that we have with the Friedberg and Seltzer movies.
Yeah,
is the fact that this isn't parody. This is pop culture references that are just being thrown in rapid fire just because.
That was my biggest concern when they walked into the YouTube app. I was
I'm surprised. What? That was very downplayed.
It was, but I was the moment you walk in, you're dating yourself.
Yeah.
You get to pick one thing. And
I saw a few videos in there, though.
But the ones that they focused on
were the ones that were popular at the time.
Well, no, not even. They were fairly timeless, I would say. The dancing guy, they hung on him for a while, and that's fine. That's whatever. And then they showed a cat video. Cat videos are fucking timeless. I will give them those two. But then you saw in the related videos there were a couple things, and it's okay, those ones are all fucking dated. Those ones are okay, bye-bye.
Well, honestly, I mean, you got the same thing with some of the stuff in Ready Player One. I'm how many fucking versions of Tracer did you see in that?
But there's the difference is that Ready Player One, while it did include modern pop culture stuff, it's also set in the future.
It is. So but there was way more modern shit in that than stuff that is more timeless.
I guess my biggest thing is that this movie, it has a conflicting message to it. It has the whole, be yourself and don't worry about fitting in. You got that, and that's the obvious moral.
Except when you do fit in, then milk it. Milk it as much as you can.
Everything that they do is saying all of these things that you have to follow these rules. To get into the firewall. They had to make a particular face while saying a particular phrase. You had to follow the rules. The biggest one, though, was the Just Dance scene, where the jailbreak can't dance. She doesn't have any groove or whatever. And Gene tells her to just let the music flow through you and express yourself. Mind you, the whole point of the app is if you make the wrong moves from what they're telling you to do,
you will fail.
You will fail. So don't express yourself too much. Express yourself in the margins.
Follow yourself within the parameters of this program.
It's just the most conflicting shit. And even when you get to the end of the movie, it's okay, I have to express an emotion that saves our phone or whatever. It's not what he feels. It's what needs to be shown at the moment in order to save their lives.
Yeah.
It's not show your own emotion.
It's do what's needed.
Do what's needed. That's the whole fucking thing. It's like, oh no, feel free to be yourself. Just get stuff done.
Also, I'd like to say that the one part about this movie that was very unexpected, and I actually would have liked it if it was a lot more of a heavy focus on this, is the way that people are when they fucking die.
Yeah.
Like, when these things, like, when these programs start getting deleted and you go into, like, the trash can and whatnot, it gets fucking harrowing.
They had Madonna, like, she was like this poppy, like, yeah, whatever, and then she's in the thing, she's just like, I just need to dance.
I just wanted to dance.
I just wanted to dance. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Like, it was fucked up. Like, and you just have her, like, screaming when she's being deleted and whatnot. I'm like, do these things feel pain?
Yeah.
Like, so, like, all those things, I'm like,
are you tired of all your pillows?
too many pillows.
Just give up. Wow, I've already got 3 of them.
I've got 5.
You cheeky fuck.
So I really actually thought that was a really interesting way that we could have explored this idea a lot more, because it of course, I also want to say one final thing about the bots.
Yeah.
The bots, especially when they make like this giant like illegal like upgrade
Which I
bot
don't get.
version, which doesn't make any fucking sense. But also at the same time, they don't follow their own logic, because he was supposed to be a legal program. He's supposed to be locked out of Dropbox, but somehow he makes it onto the cloud anyway to take
Because he
them.
made it through the fire. Wait, no, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like it makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
Is like they don't even follow its own logic. But also, it was a complete ripoff of Love Machine from Summer Wars.
Yep.
But there was a lot of things that they could have actually played with that would have made it a lot more interesting. And it reminds me of Code Lyoko. And of course, there's a lot of that is really bad. But at the same time, though, like the idea behind it is exploring the intricacies of programs through this type of interface. It would have been more interesting that way.
Yeah. No, I mean, final thoughts then for me. This movie has so many, like, from a top-down perspective here. If we're talking just about, all right, bottom up, actually, the most nitpicky shit, it is so many little inconsistencies. Like you said, the robot can get into Dropbox even after being explicitly shown that it can't. The fact that the deletion thing.
Oh, yeah.
They're wiping the entirety of the phone,
It's
but then
like
they
this
stop
Matrix-like thing.
Stop it at the last pixel, and all of a sudden everything's restored. It's like, all right, but what? And there's just so many things that are completely inconsistent about the story that it's like, if you think about it for more than half a second, you're like, wait a minute, but that doesn't... What?
We want infants to watch this. Only infants.
But then moving up, you get into just the larger story issues. This story's been done to death a million fucking times. Every kid's film has this, because all the fucking adults do is sit in the boardroom, think, kids, they probably have a hard time thinking they don't fit in. What if
Kids are dumb.
What if we tell them that they don't have to fit in? That's great, John. Wait, isn't that our entire summer lineup for the past 45 years? Yeah, get the fuck out. But no, it's just fucking, it's boring. I've seen it done a million times, and despite the fact that they had a concept that literally no one has done before. No one has bothered to make an Emoji Movie because they thought that would be fucking stupid. They could have been like, yeah, and they would have said the same thing about Legos. But instead they decided to be like, you're right, it is, but it's going to make us some bank.
I love also how that this won a Razzie Award for Worst Screen Combo, and it's clarification for any 2 obnoxious emojis.
Fair.
Any.
Entirely fair. When it comes down to acting, I mean... Every one of the actors did a fine job in getting their character across. I especially like the meta ones, because they were given like dramatic lines, but they were forced to say it in a monotonous and uncaring tone, and it was pretty good.
I'm boiling angry.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I believe we were followed. Don't overreact. Oh no!
I told you not to overreact.
So I enjoyed the actors. The problem being is that half, if not like 3/4 of the lines, are just fucking garbage. So when it comes down to it, story, boring, characters, boring, fucking... When your character designs literally are already pre-made at your fingertips, try a bit harder on the other aspects.
my whole thing is the fact that it's like, yeah, this is a kids movie. Yeah, it's a family film. Yeah, it's mostly meant to be popcorn media that the people are making, and it's meant to be like forgotten, basically.
Except for the products.
Remember
the products.
Remember the products.
Remember the products.
They do their utmost to remember the products, but let us also remember the fact that this movie cost an estimated $50 million.
Damn it.
Like, this movie does not deserve to have that budget. There are so many great independent filmmakers y'all motherfuckers could be funding right now. Check out my Indiegogo. And whatnot. It's like, but at the same time, though, you could have tried fucking harder with the amount of money and the amount of talent that you have behind this movie. It boggles the mind.
They had a flamenco dancer that popped in for maybe 5 scenes, max. And when I say popped in, I mean in, line, out. That was Sofia Vergara, who played that. You get actors and actresses, and then you give them literal shit roles.
Jeff Ross was in that too.
Yeah, he was the internet troll.
God, I'm not even gonna go through it. There also was a handful of really interesting ideas, like when they went to like the shit involving like the hackers and the pirating stuff and whatnot. Like, you had opportunity there to do a lot of really cool things. You could have done like a whole Wreck-It Ralph breaks the internet shit with this.
There was a line that they said right before they went in where it was like, "What would a teenage boy have to hide from his parents?" And they just like paused, gave a beat for it. But when they went in, it was just pirates and stuff. I'm like, there are a lot less tits than I would expect in here.
Where are all the boobs?
That is all that would be in here. This would just be a harem.
It's just a harem anime. They just walk right into a harem anime.
Oh, God.
But, well, those are our final thoughts.
Whoa. No, we need to give the moral of the review. Any story, any ad, anything needs to have a moral.
Okay, that's fair.
What?
All right, so we got to spin the wheel of morality.
Wheel of morality! I love the wheel of morality. What's it say?
Goldfish are a way for a child to understand death. I feel touched.
In all the wrong ways.
Good night, everybody.
Made possible by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.